The anime starts in a city where a girl, called Kizara, runs while laughing. She tries to open the door but fails, so she goes to another room and starts cooking rice. At a cafe, a lady and a guy have lunch. Shu, the boy, devours his meal and tells the girl he will only accept jobs worth doing. Ayano, the girl, tells him to think about his future and to stop being naive. Still, he walks away, adding that he will walk alone to achieve his goals. Ayano is doubtful, commenting that someone is spoon-feeding him. Outside, Shu shows her his unpaid invoices, asking her to pay for them. After going back, the room is dark and he gets startled by Kizara. She tells him that there is no electricity and says that she tried very hard to make the food. Shu says that he already ate, which makes Kizara go on a long rant. Suddenly, Shu is super hungry. While he is eating, Kizara hugs him and mentions to not worry about her. She smells a girl's scent, and Shu gives an excuse. Later, Kizara informs him that she already paid his utility bills with her savings. The delivery man arrives with a parcel, and Shu makes her pay. She stresses about when Shu will start working, but he brushes it off. A notification appears on his phone, and when he clicks it, a floating island can be seen. He walks into a meeting room where a briefing session starts. The scene cuts to investigators ambushing a room. There, a person turns into a monster. As the men shoot it, all the bullets deflect off. The man in the meeting shows the suspect and tells the rest to stop him, adding that the suspect is located at the Central Entertainment District. They cannot act too recklessly. The auction begins. At the end of the auction, the winning bid is Shu's company INS office. All of them get mad at him. On a phone call, a lady speaks to him regarding the next plan. She requests money, but when Shu is hesitant, the lady comments on how her daughter has paid his bills. The lady puts down the phone and talks to Ayano. Shu meets Ayano. They ambush the building and Shu busts the door open to see many demons inside. The battle begins with Ayano defeating the minions, but more spawn. Shu hides behind a pillar and sneaks behind the boss and shoots it. The attack doesn't work and the monster goes for Shu instead. Suddenly, Kizara slices its arm and Shu thanks her. As it regenerates again, Kizara attacks it but is flung away instead. She discerns that they haven't done the ritual in a long time, and they start making out. Ayano is struggling when Kizara appears and easily defeats everything in her path, including the big demon. Shu wakes up and realizes Kaisara is fighting. Ayano and Kizara hate each other and start fighting. Shu goes to them, telling Kizara not to fight his ex. Kizara points her sword at Shu, demanding him to show his love by giving her his spare key. Shu tells her that she can walk through the wall but gives it to her anyways. Together, they defeat the demon along with the whole casino, causing the entire building to collapse. Outside, Ayano mentions how they have a Class A demon on their side. Kizara uses the spare key to go into Shu's house. In the morning, the news covers the building collapse but doesn't mention the demon. Kizara goes over the company's finances, adding that they will be living together since she has the spare key now. She looks for a part-time job at the train station and her friends join in, asking about Shu. They see a bandage and think that Shu abused her. A blonde boy called Mikio goes to her and flirts with Kizara, telling her to tell him her problems. As he goes on a rant about an upcoming party, the rest leave him behind. At the gym, Shu talks to Ayano to get a part-time job. They knew what they were doing with this one. Even though Ayano is hesitant to give him a job, Shu continues begging her. She goes on a phone call to try to get a job for him. Suddenly, her face goes dark and Shu realizes that Kizara posted a photo of them living together. In a dark room, some government officials talk about a potential assassination attempt tonight. Masaaki wants to have the party postponed, but it is not possible, so they try to get help from the Anti-Demon Bureau instead. He walks with Ayano's mom, Akino, afterward. Shu is working as security for the party and meets Miles. Ayano is not happy about the dress she is wearing. Mikio goes up to Kizara as he is the mayor's son. In a smoking room, Miles gives him some extra details about the suspect when an eye can be seen in the wall. As they keep talking, the mayor arrives, so Shu has to start his duty. The mayor gives a speech about the city, spouting nonsense and lies. The eye can be seen explaining that the citizens who have had their dreams crushed now live in an underground society filled with crime and drugs. The mayor adds that the city is backed by renewable energy, but the eye demon digresses. It puts its arm out, aiming for the mayor when Kizara pulls him back in. As the team attacks it, the demon runs away while permeating through walls. Kizara kicks it in the face and chases after it. At last, they surround it, but Shu gets a phone call telling them to capture it and not kill it. The demon doesn't understand why Shu and Kizara are on the government side, bringing up Shu's family as it jumps out the window. Shu buys a weapon with express delivery, but the truck hits the demon, so Shu doesn't even need it anymore. While walking, Kizara asks Shu about what the demon said. The scene flashes back to a girl seeing her family covered in blood and getting killed. Shu wakes up, recalling his memories of his family. He takes his family picture and sees Kizara taped onto it. Police chase a man who is holding a briefcase. He trips and his phone slides away. Someone on the call talks about a certain contract and a bright light flashes. Shu gets a letter. The officials are informed of a demon at a plant, but the suspect is said to have been dead for 3 years. They infer that he is probably a spy, and the mayor is confused about what is happening. Shenhua mentions that a team needs to be mobilized, and Lin Fa takes on the job of covering it up. At the park, two men jog and have a conversation. Shu and Ayano sit on a bench and ask her what job she was doing in that outfit. Getting into business, Shu shows her the picture of the demon and a circular mark. He realizes that he is being taken advantage of because he is poor but still chooses to accept it. He tells Ayano to trust him, but she lists a bunch of things he did wrong before. When he goes to apologize, Kizara comes out of the fountain. Shu wins the bid again for the demon. Akino whispers to Masaaki, and he cancels the auction. Showing new information about the demon, he says that the demon has swallowed a week's worth of electricity, hence the blackouts. He explains that it will have to be retrieved without being destroyed, and Shu immediately begs to keep his bid but is told to back off. Miles is asked about Shu, and he tells his partner about him. Shu and Kizara are the strongest in the city as Kizara is a demon, yet the government treats them like trash. Drones freeze the demon. Suddenly, the caterpillar turns into a butterfly and flies up. Akino gets a call from Shu, and he sarcastically comments on their situation. The butterfly blasts everyone, and Shu complains to Akino. Kizara hugs him from behind, and Shu talks about his objective. Kizara mentions the dress Ayano wore, but Shu kisses her. Rubbles falls on Ayano when Kizara saves her and goes for the butterfly. Attacking it, Shu sees a note on his hand telling him to aim for Kizara. He loads his gun and shoots the core, causing the demon to fall to the ground. Ayano thanks Kizara for saving her life. At a port, Ayano and her team ambush a demon. They shoot rockets at it and capture the demon. Coming out on a stretcher, she remembers his face and hears a woman yelling. Later, Ayano meets up with Lin Fa at a restaurant and discusses demons. Shu and Kizara have dinner without lights. Ayano begs Lin Fa to negotiate with Masaaki about something, and when she leaves, Lin Fa asks her about Shu. At home, Shu seems sad, so Kizara goes out with him. They meet Mikio, who says that he rushed to her because of the power outage. As Mikio nags him for taking advantage of Kizara, she walks away. Mikio keeps talking, and Shu disappears. Ayano shows Shu a post of her. The detective introduces himself as Tetsuya and informs them about the man who was captured. Shu gets mad that Ayano did not tell him about the investigations when the Tetsuya gets a phone call which notifies him that Tony has been murdered. At the hospital, Miles shows him the weapon that was used. Shu realizes that the people who have turned into demons talked to a mysterious salesman before. Even though he wants to help immediately, Ayano tells him to piss off and starts crying as she talks about the past. She notices that Shu doesn't remember what she is talking about and runs away. Police surround a building, and the detective enters it to see many dead bodies. Ayano cries under a bridge and hears footsteps, thinking it is Shu, but it is actually Kizara. Kizara tells her the memories of the past that she was talking about, saying that Shu's memories remain within her. When Shu is smoking, an arrow is shot at him, and he looks at the paper attached. Kizara tells Ayano more about their contract and how Shu loses his memories. Ayano has been doing everything to keep Shu safe, including canceling the previous auction and getting the police involved. The mayor is enlightened of the whole situation by Masaaki. Suddenly, gunshots are heard and Shu rushes down the basement. A demon kills a man and Shu shoots it. It goes into a bathroom, and when Shu goes in, it attacks him using the mirror to its advantage. As the man dies, he says Maria. The detective realizes that Maria is the woman who was dating Tony. While Ayano is walking, the demon attacks her from behind and Kizara comes to protect her. They immediately chase after the demon but lose sight of it. Spotting a mirror, they are told that it can go through mirrors. Suddenly, the demon comes out. Ayano shoots it and it disappears again. At a restaurant, Shu is told that Ayano is being treated, and the detective questions how he knew about the demon so quickly. Akino visits Ayano. The detective tells Shu of an explosion caused by orgonium mining, and Shu already knows it. However, the detective adds that the explosion is fake. He tells the true story of Shu's family at the mine during an inspection when 53 people died in the explosion. Akino says that no one knows what actually happened, telling Shu that his unidentified informant may be the demon that killed his father. Tetsuya wants to collaborate with him instead. Later, Miles and Tetsuya discuss about the demon and the suspect, Junya. Inside a building, they knock on the door of the suspect but go in when no one answers. They see Junya dead from a while ago with the words, "One more person," written in blood.